Interesting new role at OpenAI. They are hiring a head of preparedness. So this is basically, there was a meme that was going around earlier this year, which was a kill switch engineer. This is a real version of the kill switch engineer. I'll show you the meme first here. They've actually got the salary about right as well, because OpenAI are offering $550,000 a year, so $500,000 for their preparedness engineer. The kill switch engineer was about $500,000 as well. This is the meme, not the real one. We need someone to stand by the servers and unplug them if things turn on us. You receive training on the code word, which we will shout if GPT goes off the deep end. Be patient. Know how to unplug things. Bonus points if you can throw a bucket of water on the servers too, just in case. And 3, be excited about OpenAI's approach to research. This was a joke a few months ago. They are actually hiring a real role similar to the kill switch engineer. It is the head of preparedness, a critical role at an important time. Interesting. Models are improving quickly and are now capable of many things, but they're also starting to present real challenges. The potential impact of models on mental health was something we saw in a preview of in 2025. We are just now seeing models get so good at computer security that they're beginning to find critical vulnerabilities. For example, Claude Code was used in cyber attacks. We have a strong foundation of measuring and growing capabilities, but we're entering a world where we need more nuanced understanding and measurement of how those capabilities could be abused and how we can limit those downsides both in products and in the world in a way that lets us all enjoy the tremendous benefits. These questions are hard, true, and there is little precedent. A lot of ideas that sound good have some real edge cases. If you want to help the world figure out how to enable cybersecurity defenders with cutting-edge capabilities whilst ensuring attackers can't use them for harm, tricky, really tricky, ideally by making all the systems more secure, and similarly for how we release biological capabilities and even gain confidence in the safety of running systems that can self-improve, please consider applying. This will be a stressful job and you'll jump into the deep end pretty much immediately. Ooh, that's worrying wording. What's happening at OpenAI? So there's a couple of questions raised here. Okay, why are they hiring now? Why have they not had a head of preparedness before? And what is this urgency? What is happening inside of OpenAI where they're suddenly like, crap, we need somebody who is going to be head of preparedness? It feels like the meme of the kill switch engineer. This is a real role. So this role, if you do want to apply for it, is at openai.com/careers. The payment is about $500,000 a year plus offers of equity. Your job is to prepare for whatever is coming with artificial intelligence. They have something called the Preparedness Framework, which is a document they put together previously, but it was updated in April, talking about what preparedness is. And the big ones are biological and chemical capabilities, because you can use AI to unlock cures and scientific discoveries, but also create biological weapons. How do you separate the two? Cybersecurity capabilities, again, you can use AI to protect systems, or you can use AI to attack systems. And so AI self-improvement capabilities. So again, two-sided, double-edged. Once an AI starts to self-improve, it gets better and more efficient and can be more helpful. It can also move itself towards AGI and artificial superintelligence, and then all bets are off. These are the main areas that the preparedness expert, or the head of preparedness, will be dealing with: biological and chemical capabilities, cybersecurity, and self-improvement. I'll put this paper, the Preparedness Framework, into the newsletter because it is worth looking at. I'm not going to go through it now because it's not that exciting, but it gives you an idea of what a company like OpenAI is worried about. Their main concerns are moving forward, which is useful insight. So yeah, if you do want to apply, good luck. It's $500,000 salary, which is pretty good. And you are going to be helping to shape the future of these models and making them safe for future use. I'm going to hop over to some questions, if there are any. I'm not seeing any today. I just got some stats back from TikTok about my TikTok lives, which I do every day. Apparently I'm in the top 5% of TikTok lives. So thank you guys for all of the support. I should have kept the stats because they're quite interesting. I've done 130 lives with a couple of 100,000 views and forget how many diamonds or whatever they call it, coins. If you have sent me coins or diamonds, know that they go to other creators because I support them as well. Okay, so that is the head of preparedness. The big thing is the Meta acquisition. There have been a couple of acquisitions over this holiday period. We've just heard that Meta, the creators of Instagram and Facebook, have acquired Manus, Manus. You might know Manus. If you do, this news is probably surprising. Manus was one of the first agentic systems available to consumers. Everyday people could use Manus and set it off on tasks, and it would go and research, it would put things in tables for you. It would deal with complicated tasks in a way that none of the other AIs could at that point. So Manus came out, I think, back in March and was a big hit back then. Could do a lot of things that other models could not do. However, over time, all of the other models, so Claude and ChatGPT in particular, added agentic capabilities, the ability for it to go off and do some research. So Manus became less important. People were less excited about it. It's still a really good tool. And we just heard about 12 hours ago that it has been acquired by Meta. So Meta have purchased Manus. So this is on Manus. Manus is joining Meta. Nothing changes for you. Same team, same product, same commitment. We are now better positioned to bring general AI agents to more people. I'm seeing a lot of confusion about this acquisition. Manus is primarily for when you have a complicated task that you need an AI to break down and go and work on, and it is fantastic at doing that. Meta's AI products, the ones that they have deployed on WhatsApp, the ones they've deployed inside of Facebook, are very much B2C for general consumers using social media, and they've bolted on AI. So when you're using AI inside of a social media, you're not necessarily sending it off to do research for you. You're not sending it off to do a complicated task, to go and scrape emails or to pull down a list of companies for market research. That's not the kind of task that you do when you are on Instagram. So there's a lot of confusion about why they buy an agentic system. I think it is it's an acqui-hire. Meta have been buying in a lot of talent for their superintelligence lab over the last year. I think they are basically buying the team. They're buying the Manus team and bringing them inside of Meta to work on Meta products. And I think what they're going to be doing is not necessarily consumer-facing software. It's not necessarily going to be stuff for Meta users to use on a day-to-day, but instead they're going to be working on the ads platform. Meta are already pushing into artificial intelligence inside of their advertising. We put it up. It's called Meta Advantage Plus. If you run Meta ads, you'll know all about this. But basically allowing any ads that you run to be optimized by artificial intelligence. This is their huge push inside of their advertising platform. And if you are somebody who uses Facebook, if you're someone who uses Instagram on a daily basis, you don't necessarily think of Meta as an advertising company. You think of them as a social media company. But this is where all their money comes from. This is a chart of where Meta's revenues come from. 99% comes from advertising, and about 1% comes from its virtual reality. I have one of their Oculuses here somewhere, but it is an advertising company in the same way that Google is an advertising company. Google makes about 70% of their revenues through adverts. Meta makes 99% of their revenues through adverts. This is how they make money. They make money through products like Meta Advantage Plus, which is businesses and companies running ads to their audience members. That's where the money comes from. This acquisition of Manus is to get the team working on agentic ads. So adverts that can improve themselves, a system where it can go out and research what the best adverts for a particular product, and then agentically adapt, run optimization tests, run A/B tests, etc., based on the results. I think this is the play here. And so they're going to be working in the back end to improve the advertising product. So when Manus says, oh yeah, we're going to continue with you'll have the same product in the same team, in the same community, I don't think that's true. I think what we use Manus for on a day-to-day basis will slowly be shuttered, and talent will be repositioned into the advertising team at Meta Ads. I hope I'm wrong, because I really like Manus. I think it's a great product, but I think that's where it's going to go. Either way, congratulations to the Manus team. They've just made an awful lot of money. The estimates are around 4 to 6 billion. So these are just estimates. So this is Ramp Labs. They say Meta just acquired Manus AI. Ramp Sheets modeled it out. So estimated price about 4 to 6 billion based on artificial intelligence mergers and acquisition comparables. Fastest to 100 million ARR in history. Very cool. Benchmark likely 8 to 12 times. You take the revenue and you apply a multiple here, and they're saying about 10x multiple. So based on this, and this obviously is not going to be the true figure, this is just a calculation, around 5 billion acquisition. Meta just bought Manus for over 1 billion. 8 consumer AI apps have hit 100 million plus. So it's people like Lovable, 11 Labs, Perplexity. Oh, I've got more here. Suno, Gamma, Character AI, and Manus. Manus is probably the cheapest because it has the lowest revenues. That said, I don't consider Manus to be a consumer AI app necessarily. I think it's more for B2B enterprise use as a research tool. I don't think it's being acquired as a consumer AI app. So I disagree with that particular part of this analysis. Anyway, interesting news, and we'll see what happens to Manus. If you use Manus, this is, I would say, probably bad news. I don't think Manus is going to survive as it is today, which is a shame, but it is instead going to be pulled inside of Meta ads and turned into something internal. Hopefully I'm wrong. We'll see. I'm going to hop over to some questions. Have you built and released any products with AI yet? Yes, I have several. So a couple of tools that work inside my website, as well as learning products. So using AI to both build the learning product, but also having AI inside of the learning product to help people learn better. Released 10 projects, which were either built using artificial intelligence or use artificial intelligence inside as well. Honestly, I can't imagine doing anything without AI now. I'm 10 times more productive. I wanted to look at Axios, a news company, and the news cycle over 2025. And they do this every year. It shows big news stories throughout the year. A useful exercise to remember that even if something seems like the biggest deal at the time, we very quickly forget about things. So like we started with the Palisades fire, then Greenland, I think that was Trump threatening to annex Greenland. Inauguration, Elon Musk, DEI, there was a burst, DC plane crash, RFK Jr. What's this? Gaza has managed to maintain through the year for good reason. Zelensky had a blip. What's this to do with him not wearing a suit and being dressed down? I forget. But this is a good reminder that whilst certain news items seem like the biggest deal right now, it's generally because things are being overblown. Everything is red alert. Everything is crisis level all the time. We forget about these things quickly. For a lot of these things, AutoPen, I don't even know what AutoPen is. Tariffs, Signalgate, I forget what that is as well. What I wanted to point out though, and this is why this is interesting, is that AI is not really here. So there is no kind of blip, the launch of GPT 5.2 or Opus 4.5 from Claude. There's nothing like that. The only one that is AI related is down here at the bottom, which is AI Bubble. This is the only one in the public imagination coverage which has actually broken the surface and been considered important to people outside of our bubble. Most people are talking about K-pop demon hunters, inflation, or Sydney Sweeney, not talking about artificial intelligence. So if you are watching this live, if you're watching these videos, if you're reading this in the newsletter later, remember that we are in this small, I don't want to call it a bubble, because the topic that is broken to the surface is the AI bubble, the financial bubble. But we have to remember that we are in our own bubble of attention. AI does not show up throughout the rest of the year. So whilst it might seem very important to us, to people who are dealing with this kind of stuff on a day-to-day basis, that is not the case for the wider world. I'm going to put this graph in the newsletter because, again, it's quite interesting and it's an important reminder that just because something seems incredibly important this very moment, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, months from now, it probably isn't. It's not a bad idea to slow down our consumption of news media. I'll hop over to some questions. I'm not getting any today. I'm not too surprised about that because it is this weird period between Christmas and the New Year when lots of people aren't working. I shouldn't be working, but here I am. I'm going to call it that. So just a very short live. I'm preparing for a launch in the new year. I'll show you while I'm here. I'm sending out emails. If you're not part of the newsletter, make sure you signed up. You can join on aiwithkyle.com. But I'm sending out a training that I've prepared over the last couple of weeks. So this is a 5-part training. There's a video here as well, and it's all in the newsletter, where I'm talking about how you can make money from teaching artificial intelligence, how you can go into companies and you can provide workshops. This is all available on the website, including some tools I built for you. Work out what your particular niche is, how much money you can get depending on your market, geography, private sector, public sector, etc. I charge about $2,000 per hour for their workshop, and this pricing calculator can help you work out how much you can charge. This is in today's newsletter, which is about to come out in, I think, 3 or 4 hours. So if you want access to this tool and course, make sure you signed up for the newsletter. I'm continuing to work on this today. It made me a couple of £100,000 this year. It works for me. Make sure you subscribe to the newsletter and to the YouTube as well. YouTube is over at I am Kyle Balmer. So the same username, and we are working our way up to hopefully 20,000 in next few months. So that'd be really useful if you can subscribe there as well. I'm going to cut the live short because there's not much to cover today, and I'm never going to fill the airwaves just for the sake of it. But we have looked at the acquisition of Manus by Meta, and I've also looked at the job that OpenAI, with the head of preparedness, is paying about $500,000 a year to go and help them prepare for whatever is happening inside of OpenAI. So all of this will be in the newsletter. I'm also going to give you the preparedness framework from OpenAI so you can see what their priorities are. So I think it's an interesting read. And awesome. I will see you the same time for the live as well. Cheers. Thank you.